Hey, Nicole Norwood here with some tea time, talking about the importance of the first 2 minutes of your script and why they're so important. So, there are a couple reasons. We'll start with the very first one, which is when someone is reading your script, whether that is a script reader, that is an executive, it's a buyer. Oftentimes, yours is one of many scripts on their desk. And it's hard to stand out. It really is. And so, one thing I know I've certainly been told since the beginning of my career is read 10 pages, read 20 pages. If you're not into it, like move on to the next. Hurts my heart a little bit, to be honest, because I feel like if someone took the time to write it, I should take the time to read it. And I'm always really hopeful that even if I'm not incredibly engaged at the beginning, that something amazing will happen, and maybe in those last 5 pages, like, I'll be blown away. Honestly, that really rarely happens, and those early pages really are indicative, I think, of what you can expect in terms of the storytelling to come. So, first of all, you don't want to turn off your reader at the outset before you even really get your foot in the door. You want something really compelling that's going to keep them turning those pages, read to the end of your script or your sample, and make them want to have a meeting with you. Make them want to call your agent and say, I just read that script you sent me and it was incredible. I have to meet this writer. I want to know more. That's the goal. So, number one, capture your reader at the outset. The other point I'd like to make is in this era of streaming, again, so many choices, so easy to tune into a different show, turn it off, you watch a couple minutes, you're not engaged, you're not following. It's really easy to just give up and move on to something else. It's not like back in the day where there were only 3 networks and your choices were really slim. Your choices are endless. So it's important in the streaming era that you really capture that viewer and keep them engaged in watching, not only in those first 2 minutes, but into the second episode. You want them to hit that next episode button and keep watching. I will also say that streamers really look at those first 2 minutes to see what kind of audience engagement your show has. So are viewers really drawn in? Is the potential that they keep watching high? If you don't see strong audience engagement in those 2 minutes, if you're getting a ton of tune outs or it's middling, chances are people aren't going to follow through to the end of that first episode. And if they don't follow through to the end of the first episode, chances are they're not going to come back and watch any of the other episodes of your show. And obviously, you don't want that. You want someone to be intrigued and really follow along to the end. So please make sure when you're writing those first 2 minutes of your script, you're thinking about, how do I capture the audience's attention? And maybe that is just a really unique, unusual, dynamic character that you're introduced to. Maybe it's a conversation that is really thought-provoking or curious or compelling. Maybe it is a setting that just sucks you in. Maybe it's a dead body. Maybe it is a significant incident that then propels you into what happens next. Maybe it is an incident from later in your pilot story that you're just going to tease here and then have your audience build to and figure out what happened. Those are all great options to engage someone at the outset. I think you just have to really realize that as much as you might like to tell a slow burn of a story and think the audience is gonna, happily come along with you for the ride, it's hard. It's hard to achieve that. It's hard for people to say, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what is happening. Nothing's really captured me, but all right, I'll stick with it. I mean, that's a tough sell. So I would encourage you, as you're writing, really, really think about what is going to grab attention, what is going to appeal to someone, what is going to keep them reading. And even if at the end of the day they don't want to buy your script, or they don't think this is the right piece of material, hopefully they are intrigued enough and excited enough by the writing that they're going to bring you in for a meeting and talk to you, and maybe there's another project that you can work on together. So take the time, really focus on that opening, on those 2 minutes, and make your work undeniable. So someone isn't able to put it down and say, "Ugh, I read the first 10, 20 pages and that was enough." So good luck to you, happy writing, and we'll talk to you again soon.